Here we go. Thank you, Jerry Jones. I had a great time. Thank you. I'm going to exit the building now. Like a loser.
The house that Jerry Jones built?
It's a house for losers.
Yep.
Charles Haley was 100%
Charles Haley was
right.
He was right.
This, friends, is a house for losers.
Pretty much.
We suck. We suck. But I had a great trip.
Well, good evening, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I'm getting ready to join Philly 500 and Dan Selio. And God, I have been getting pounded by Eagle fans. You know, this shit hits close to home. My daughter's boyfriend, he's an Eagle fan. They're coming out the woodwork and everything else. I can't go on X. On X, they're literally pounding me down. It is just getting to be redunculous right now. Rhonda, I'm listening, but you're in the bat cave. All right. Dwayne Sweeney, what's going on? So let me go ahead and enter the studio with Dan Selio.
Shaq Barrett?
Oh, Lordy.
Out of retirement? That's according to his wife.
Oh, Lord. This gets to be hard.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, Yale, hold on for a minute. Change the background screen. Where is that? Will somebody tell him where that is?
I was wondering what's going on.
What that
Mozzie
background
Selio.
is?
Still, no, Mozzie's
Somebody
playing
please
better
tell
than
him
Dan
what that
Selio.
background is. It's the vet. It's Veterans Stadium.
Looks like a garbage dump to
Okay.
me. Hey, Mark,
Xander
it's
goes
Derek.
up
What's
calling
up, Derek?
fake
How are you
news
doing?
on that.
Team Philly 500. Oh, Lordy.
Yeah. We're going to have Battle Royale here in a minute. Boy, I'll tell you what, if there was a guy who needed a win
Lordy.
more than Mark Holmes, I don't know, man. I don't know. Jerry Jones, Mark Holmes, those dudes. So let me before I bring Mark Holmes in. So you could have signed DeAndre Hopkins, Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones. Shit, you could have kept Tony Pollard, who's having a good year.
Oh, Lord.
Derrick Henry and Barkley. And you could have signed Daniel Jones.
Oh, please.
Here's why.
Daniel Jones. Are you
What's
crazy?
all in?
Signing Daniel
What the
Jones
fuck
is
is all in Dallas? Put your chips all in for what? Right now, currently, here's the Cowboys' position when it comes to the draft. Right now, the greatness of the Cowboys. Here we go. Where's their draft position? I believe they're up 12th. Here we go. The Dallas Cowboys right now are 11th in the draft right now. They got the 11th pick. The Cowboys have the 11th pick. They never had any intention of winning this year.
You just hit the nail
How
on the
could
head.
they? They didn't make any fundamental moves whatsoever that would help them in any way possible to improve their football team at any time. And some go like this. Well, Sills, Daniel Jones. Well, look at the shit you have now. I mean, right now, who do you got? Okay, you got Cooper Rush. Who the fuck is that? You got Ricky Ricardo running the ball. You've got no guys playing defensive tackle for you right now. You've got good edge rushers. Your DBs are helping, and you've been banged up all year. What exactly did Jerry Jones do this year that was conducive to winning? Signing CeeDee Lamb and signing Dak Prescott. That's a remedy to not win. And I'll tell you why.
Here we go.
Explain this to me. Jerry Jones or Jimmy Johnson got rid of the best football player on their team in Herschel Walker. Do you know what he did with that? That and a collection of other picks, he turned into 53 trades. It was the total of all the league during that 5-year span. Jimmy, who was on Monday, made 53 moves in 5 years. Do you understand the other, at the time, 28 teams? Do you understand? Combined, they didn't make that many. Here's something else that Mark probably doesn't know. He may know.
Oh, I know.
Does a great job covering the Cowboys. Every single person on that trade that they made with Herschel Walker to Minnesota, not one of them ever played a single down in Dallas. Jimmy wanted the draft picks. He didn't want the players. He thought the players stunk. But it translated into third rounders, fourth rounders, fifth rounders. Not one of those guys off of that move ever played it down. He traded the best player. Do you know Herschel had 1,500 yards rushing and 750 yards receiving on a shitty-ass 4-win or 3-win Cowboy team? I think they had like Steve Pelor as their quarterback. He stunk. I was there. They had aging Randy White and all them other dudes, Tom Rafferty. They had to have a complete overhaul. Don't you think the Cowboys need a complete overhaul in draft picks? Dude, one thing the Cowboys don't do bad, they don't draft poorly. They do a night, they overvaluate, but they don't do a bad job of drafting. So without further ado, Philly 500 is going to join us. He can't be too upset. He did beat the Washington Commanders, and that's always – and by the way, I'm very glad to see that they're in conversation with the tribe out west trying to get the Redskin logo back, and they're going to have some sort of business arrangement with it. That's fine. Same thing with the Seminole Indians down in Florida. Do you know that Florida State gets 5% of the revenue that it comes off the merchandise that goes to the Seminole tribes? Okay, well, if no one else has a bitch with it and everyone's profitable and you're doing good things with it, what do you care? Tipping statues over and taking pictures down, outrunning your history, so fucking dumb, it's ridiculous. Embrace your shit. Cowboys and Redskins. Cowboys and Commanders, I feel like I want to put a prophylactic on. I mean, I do. I feel like I want to put a prophylactic on when I hear the Washington Commanders.
With the left
okay?
hand
I mean,
up.
All right. I gotta do this here, man. So Mark gets a win. And Philly 500 is now 9-2. Holy shit, is he going to be unbearable? This is going to be great here. So without further ado, it is Battle Royale this Turkey Week. It is the man who is the number one man who covers the Dallas Cowboys, Mark Holmes, and he is a Philly legend. Philly 500. He joins us as well here. How you boys doing?
Yeah!
I love how you just trash me, my organization, and everything else before I even get on here. I mean, literally, you done piled up. I mean, the amount of garbage you done put up is like your screen back there behind you. It's a pile of shit.
What? The vet?
Yes.
The vet's a
Hey, don't mess with that place.
That toxic waste dump, man.
Philly.
The bathroom sucked.
Oh, okay. That's the only thing. Okay, all right.
No, I love that stadium. Are you kidding me?
Okay, I'm glad you did.
That stadium any day of the week. Mark brings fake chickens on. I bring real kittens. All right, we're talking about a real team and fakeness. Fake, real. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's adorable there. Kittens are always wanted here on this program. Hey, by the way, since you have a chain around the neck of that cowboy, have you thrown the season overboard?
You know, Jerry Jones is great at selling hope. Okay, I have no delusions of thinking that this team is going to, be a playoff team and do something. I had a Chef David came over to the house on Sunday, and he said to me, what if we run the table? I was like, David, I know you make edibles. Are you getting high in your own supply? I'm like, we're going to get killed in this game right here. And I'll be honest with you, I was 100% surprised that we found a way to win that game. Now, the schedule does get more favorable with the Giants right now, which you got Tommy Cutlets, who's got an elbow issue right there. You probably get a win there. You got Cincinnati after that. You got Carolina, and you got Tampa Bay. You guys may have wrapped up home field advantage by the Eagles game, and then we got the Commanders with the left hand up, and they stink.
Billy, this sounds like a guy who's on the deck of the Titanic hoping the boat don't go down.
I'm going to tell you, I know this guy. I know how he thinks. After tomorrow's win versus the Giants.
Wait a minute, you're saying we're going to win?
He is going to start.
Wait, we haven't won. Hold on. We ain't won a game at home all season.
You're beating
Yeah, but you're not playing a real football team.
You're not.
You know what? The way we played in some of those games, I'm not sure we'd be a flag football team.
See,
Listen,
you're not reversing this on us, dog.
I'm being serious. Listen,
After
Selio,
tomorrow,
Dan, you put it out in a nutshell. The Cowboys didn't do shit. You're literally telling us we should have signed Daniel Jones. I mean, that's about as rock bottom as it gets. The Cowboys
would have made the game.
Your quarterback you have right now is rock bottom. He sucks.
Yeah, well, 249 yards, 2 TDs. At least he didn't turn the ball over.
Oh, my
You see,
God.
At this point,
it's happening.
okay,
happening.
all right. Here's the deal.
Like tomorrow, when they win, Mark will start pushing playoffs.
No, I won't be pushing playoffs.
Mark Holmes.
No,
It's possible.
we're sitting in the 14th spot right now. 14. 14th.
I don't care.
Okay.
You're going to do it. I know you. I know you too well. You're going to push the playoffs.
Mark,
It's
you'll
going
be
to happen.
5-7, and you said you got Carolina potentially there. If you win those 2 games, you're 7-7.
Yeah, I hear you. You know what? If cans and butts were nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. I'm not counting on Jack anymore. I have been
talking about juggernaut teams here.
I agree, but we're talking about the Cowboys. They're not a juggernaut team either. Although we will be getting some of our players back. I mean, you know, that does help. No. See, I see how you're trying to turn this around on here.
I think you should be thinking they can make the playoffs if they win tomorrow. I think that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
Who in the NFC outside of Detroit? Watch this, Philly. In the NFC, Xander and I did this yesterday. Okay, when you look at the rest of those teams, Green Bay, okay, Minnesota, maybe, and then after that, who? Atlanta? What?
Nobody.
What do you got? The Rams, the Seahawks,
Seahawks or Arizona?
These are all guys you could throw in a hat.
I think there are 3 legitimate teams in this conference.
Yes.
I think Detroit Eagles and Green Bay. I think. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's true. I mean, those are the 3 teams to me that have a chance going into the playoffs. Now, the problem Green Bay has is they play in a division where they could have 12, 13 wins and be a wild card team on the road.
Yeah.
Going, you know, that hurts you. That could come back and haunt them. So I think, I mean, like I said, I think this looks like a collision course for Eagles Detroit down the stretch.
Yeah, thank you, Captain Obvious.
Well, how about this though, Philly? Like you said, the NFC North, you could have a team with 11 wins and a team with 12 wins, and they're both wild card teams, especially if Detroit continues to win the way they are. Let me ask you this here, man. The loss of Brandon Graham, Philly, is what?
Oh, it's brutal. I would say brutal loss. Brutal loss. I don't think it means that this defense is going to somehow collapse and it's all over. I think Brandon Graham was playing. I mean, that was the best game I've seen Brandon Graham play in 2 years.
Excellent.
He looked great. And I think it's a big loss. And I think his presence there, it doesn't help. However, here's what I'll say. I think they still got a good defense. They're playing really good. And I think Vic Fangio deserves the opportunity to find a way to make up for the loss. He's very good at taking guys and what they do good and using it to their ability. So maybe you have 4 or 5-man fronts. There's talk about Vaughn being on the edge at times, things like that. But I think we got to see what adjustments he'll be made.
Now, to you, Mark, what do the Eagles do that the Cowboys aren't doing as a franchise?
You really going to ask that question? Here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. You have different buckets of way of getting talent, okay? Now, you can't argue with the Dallas Cowboys literally finding players from the USFL. When you look at Turpin, the way he's running and stuff, and now Josh Daniels, granted, it's only his second game as a starter, but another USFL guy that actually looks pretty good in the secondary. The problem with the Cowboys is they never draft to complement, okay? They always draft to replace. Every year we end up letting go. Last year, 9 starters. And you can't look and say, well, we're just going to take the guys we had last year and we're going to take some journeymen and we're going to put together and we're going to collectively be a team. The Eagles, I envy them because when they make a mistake on a player, they don't sit there and say, oh, my God, we're going to spend too much money on a free agent. They go out and say, let's get the best player available to plug in there. Now, has every move they've made worked? No, but they've hit on more than they've missed. And that's where they realize we have a quarterback. What can we do to maximize his talent? We are the polar opposite. We literally said we're going to do more with less. Sorry, doing more with less in the NFL is not a winning
Mark, here's
philosophy.
the problem that Angelo brought up in the last hour, Philly. And now it's rearing its head again.
Mm-hmm.
That entire Hassan Reddick deal
that hurt.
Was just an absolute train wreck from both sides of the aisle when it came to him and when it came to the Eagles and the Jets. But now that Brandon Graham's out and you got Bryce Huff out, you're going to be playing the edge with a guy from like Christian Catholic, Eagle Creek University, Jalix Hunt, that's going to be taking reps, who's undersized. And then you got another undersized guy who's not a 3-down lineman and a 3-down edge rusher now, and a 3-down player in Nolan Smith. He's come on and played better, but he's not that guy. That move of them not bringing back Reddick is so in their face right now because here's the deal. They don't have personnel out there. They're signing guys off the street who are going to have no impact. Vic Fangio said today, hey, what do you make of this guy Harris they signed? He goes, I don't know anything about him. I've never heard of him. So, Philly, I mean, that Hassan Reddick deal is being felt also right now.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this. I mean, how many times that was like the one? I thought that was one too many moves. I never liked that trade. I never was down with it. And, yeah, now it's coming back on us. There's no question about it. What can you do? I don't know. I mean, what can you do in a situation like this? You can't go out and trade for guys. You're not going to pick anybody off the street. So, Vic Fangio, he's supposed to be a good defensive coordinator, going to earn his money now. That's it. Got to earn your money.
All right, there, Cowboy guy.
Why am I here?
Because it's fun.
Fun for who? Fun for who?
No, it's fun for Eagle fans because
fun for us.
Hey, wait a minute. You're going to get your freaking time too because you know how these things go back and forth.
Oh, okay.
Hey, wait a minute. You're
here to amuse
I've been
us.
bent over all season here, bro.
Hey, look, I told you would win 5 games this year. You don't have the personnel this year to do anything with it.
Shit.
Okay. All that being said, so now you're talking about Jerry Jones giving Mike McCarthy a contract extension.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
And here's what I really this is going to sound crazy, but him saying that means he has to recognize that this whole debacle of a season isn't all Mike McCarthy, that they had a part to play in this by not putting the talent on the field. And this is where I kind of wonder, would it have been conceivable that they went and said, we're not going to sign anybody, of nature. We're not going to go out and spend, a whole bunch of money on an aging player. We're going to go ahead and take our lumps. We're going to clear off the roster because here's the thing. Now, hold up for a second here. Here's the thing that's interesting is we've got $24 million in cap space next year already. We got 21 at the moment that'll roll over. and they can easily get to $100 million next year by using a couple of their triggers. If they decide that they want to use free agency, next year is the year that they go ahead and get into it.
35 of it goes to Micah.
Okay, but here's the thing. As you talk about $89 million for Dak Prescott, they've got the restructure trigger already set up. He'll only be $38 million.
Oh, God.
Okay, I'm just saying, hey, it's a plan. If you're looking at it and saying, hold it, if you're looking at this and saying you got a second or a third place schedule, you've got 12, you pointed out right now we're sitting at 11 for draft picks, and you got $100 million going into free agency. That's the time that you pounce. Will they? I don't know. Listen, I ain't got a whole lot to work with here. You're just sitting there clowning me. Oh, okay, you're an idiot. Well, what the fuck do you want from me? What do you want from me? My team is shit, and I'm trying to at least,
we want you to acknowledge Dak Prescott's not good.
Hey.
As opposed to Cooper Rush and Trey Lance.
I want you to acknowledge that Dak Prescott that Dak Prescott has let the Dallas Cowboys
I tell you what, I would like.
Is Dak better than Jalen with a full team and a good team?
Yes. Yes. We don't know because Dak Prescott's never had a full team. Your quarterback literally has a guy who's on a historic pace. He's on a historic pace. You got a good offensive line. You got two good wide receivers. Oh, no.
This is unbelievable.
Did you see Noah Brown? Hold on, bro. Our number 2 wide receiver. Did you see him in Washington on Sunday, Noah Brown? Doing Noah Brown things, dropping passes left and right. That was our number 2 receiver. Let's see how Jalen Hurts is with that guy as his number 2 receiver and chopped liver.
What about all the years that they had the best offensive line? It wasn't even close.
He had that one season, bro. One season.
He had
after his second. No.
It was more than one season.
No, bullshit.
It was
2016 was the last year.
5 years.
No.
First 5 years. What happened was Jerry Jones got pissed off that he was paying all these guys and all this talent around Dak, and Dak was underperforming. So now he has to pay Dak all this money. He said, I ain't going to keep this talent on this team. He let him go.
Our offensive line has been shit since 2017. We lost Travis Frederick.
Way.
Yes, we still
17. No way.
2017. That's when Tyron Smith started breaking down, bro.
Since 23.
You don't remember the Chaz Green game where Chaz Green literally gave up?
Are you trying to tell me that 22 O-line was not good?
22 O-line?
The 2022 O-line.
That was pretty good, but it still wasn't like it was in 2015 and 2016. It has not been a great one. No. Not going to give you
Philly,
that one.
Tell me this.
This guy's insane.
He is.
Hold it. Wait, let's back it up. No, stop right there. Are you going to say that the Dallas Cowboys offensive line 2020, 2021, 22, and 23 has been as good as the Eagles?
No.
Okay.
No, but
are you going to say okay, wait. With A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert, are you exactly? That's what your guy has. Are you going to say that at any point in the last 4 years that the Cowboys have had a wide receiving core as good as Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith?
How long has Dak been playing?
Since 2016. 2016.
So how many years? 9 years?
8 years.
8 years.
8 years. So what happened to the first 4 years?
First 4 years. The first year we were 13-3, rookie year. End up losing basically a shootout with Aaron Rodgers, and
you were the number 1 seed.
We lost with an Aaron Rodgers with a miracle pass. It wasn't on Dak. Dak went down, took the lead. Aaron Rodgers in 40 seconds. In 40 seconds, the defense couldn't hold Aaron Rodgers, and they won.
Dak started really bad in that game.
304 yards and 3 TDs. If you want to talk about starting off bad, you can look at Pat Mahomes. How many times has Pat Mahomes in that offense been behind in the first half?
Yeah, but they won the Super Bowl.
Exactly. But you're sitting there saying, he started off slow. Well, here it is. Pat Mahomes always starts off slow.
But he started slow in playoff games, Mark. Okay. No, I'm not talking about the regular season.
Have you seen what this team does as far as running the ball in playoffs?
Mark, here's the problem with the Cowboys and their
Lordy.
player development. Wait a minute, compared to the Eagles. The Eagles have one first-round draft choice on the O-line.
Yes.
You're making it sound like they've spent a ton of equity here. Their left tackle's a seventh-rounder they found in another sport. Their left guard is a second. Their center is a second.
Mm-hmm.
Their right guard right now, they found him in free agency. He was trashed.
Then they were better at finding talent.
Now he's going to be better.
I tell you what, take a look at the Great Wall of
It's your
Dallas.
coaching staff, dude.
Thank you.
Line coach.
Talk to your old coach, Jimmy Johnson, and look at the guys that they ended up making the best football in offensive line in Cowboys history.
Tony Weiss.
Okay.
Because you had a wait.
Yes.
What changed that? Here, Philly. You know what changed that Cowboy O-line? I'm going to show you this, and I've had this conversation with Mark before, but he doesn't get it. So Mark Tuney was a guy who was like a seventh rounder or a sixth rounder, came out of Hawaii, was a transfer from UCLA. Crawford Kerr was a third rounder. They had an aging Tom Rafferty. Then they went and drafted a guy, Mark Stanoski, in the third round. Who
was a guard? Who was a small guard?
Then they converted to a center.
Mm-hmm.
The right guy was Nate, who was a free agent, a USFL free agent.
Said he was too fat.
And the right tackle was Kevin Gogan. Those guys were all, guess what? Except for Stepnoski. They were all with Tom Landry prior to Jimmy getting there. What changed it? Well, Jesus, dude, if you would have went out and got Josh Jacobs or Barkley or Henry, Emmitt Smith changed that old line into the number one offensive line in football because they had a premium back. Look at what the Eagles did. They had good backs. Sanders and DeAndre Swift were good. They brought an exceptional back in to the Giants' massive failure. That's why they're far ahead of you. They're far ahead of you right now because of player development in the O-line.
Yeah, because we got Jerry and Stephen Jones that think that they're smarter than everybody else, and we can just grab players at any point and plug them
owner and the GM getting their way in Philly too, but that old line coach they have in Jeff Stoutland, like you had Tony Weiss back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude, this comes down to not knowing. Dude, you have a guy in Mulata is as good as Lane is right now. But he was a seventh rounder. Their player development in that offensive line. Hey, and I'll come over here to you now, Philly. You tell me since the bye. And you tell me, and this goes to what kind of Mark said a couple weeks ago. So you're averaging 20 passes per game, and you're averaging 42 rushes. You're 2-1. They've taken the ball out of the quarterback in many aspects in the passing game. You're 26th in passing right now. You're number one in rushing, and you're number two in total offense. You're unbalanced, though. You know, Jim, a lot of people have different opinions. Do you believe you can win the Super Bowl with that formula of not making plays in the passing game and you being that unbalanced right now? Kellen Moore hasn't improved the passing game.
You can't say that the formula is to not be passable. Like no, I think the formula of play good defense and you base your offense on the run and everything's off the run. Yeah, I think you can win Super Bowl that way.
But
Absolutely.
You're not making plays in the passing game.
Yeah, I think you are making plays in the passing game. Not every play. We've missed some plays, but I think we make a lot of good plays in the passing game. What do you mean? There's some big plays I've seen in the passing game.
How about this?
I think this is exactly the formula of how you win.
Mm-hmm.
He's taken 27 sacks this year. People are telling me he's better in the blitz.
Yeah.
He's taken 27 sacks so far. Last year he had 36 total for the entire year. He hasn't gotten better in picking up the blitz. He's taking sacks more, which are minus plays, and you're missing wide open throws. Dude, that tight end, wait a minute, Philly. This last week against the Rams, the sack took you out of field goal position, and Gunner was wide open. That's 10 points that you took off the board that when you get into the postseason, that dude's going to have to make plays, in my opinion. You don't think they do have to make plays when you get into
No, I do.
Right.
No, I do think they have to make plays. And I think that the window of making mistakes is drastically smaller in the playoffs. We see this all the time. So I don't disagree that you're going to have to make plays that maybe you missed during the regular season. However, I don't believe that the Eagles are not passing the ball because somehow Jalen Hurts hasn't been a good quarterback. The fact is they have to play this style of offense. It would be criminal not to play this style of offense when you have the best player in the league at running back. You've got to play this style. And this style can win Super Bowls. I definitely believe that.
Okay.
Mark, can I say something here before you ask me a
Sure.
question? You do realize that this is a house of cards that you have, right? I don't mean any harm, but you guys have the easiest schedule in the freaking NFL. And while you're sitting there doing your circle jerk about talking about Super Bowls and things, you know, when you only beat the Browns 20-16, when you beat the New York Giants, 28-3, you beat the Bengals, you beat the Jaguars 28-23, and you beat the Cowboys that literally, we are on death's door with things. It's not exactly a lot of quality wins there. And I think that you guys are hyped up a little bit too much. You're getting a little too high in your supply. Yeah. Honestly, looking at, and you're not going to be tested going down the stretch here, that you might want to pump the brakes just a little bit. I'm just saying, because if it does.
Pump the brakes on what?
Pump the brakes.
You act like we're sitting there being obnoxiously.
I'm not
arrogant,
bro.
We're not. They're 9-2, my man.
I mean, the Saints.
Are they 9-2? Did they lose to the Falcons? How can you possibly bring up the Falcons game and then make all those excuses about Dak Prescott in the playoffs?
I'm not talking about my team making the playoffs. I'm not talking about my team going to the Super Bowl like you are. You're up here. Of course we could go to the Super Bowl with this team. That team has not played a quality team and got a what, buddy? They have not. They have not.
Really? Green Bay's not a quality team?
Oh my!
Green Bay's not a quality team.
That was a lifetime ago.
Green Bay not a quality
How'd you do against Tampa Bay, bro?
What do you mean?
How'd you do against Tampa Bay?
Week 1.
I'm sorry, Tampa Bay.
We lost to Tampa Bay.
Oh,
yeah, that was the last.
And 33-16, you got mollywop by him. Mollywop, bro.
Are you talking about week 4 of the NFL?
But you're talking about Green Bay week 1. Look in the mirror, bro. Look in the mirror. You're talking about week 4. You just praised the big win of the week 1. Come on, Philly. You're a fraud, bro.
No.
You are as fraudulent as your record. You're a bum.
Full of shit. It's not even funny. Your question was, did the Eagles beat anybody good? I said yes. Green Bay Packers. That's what I said.
Okay.
Why wouldn't I say that? Are the Packers not good?
Okay.
So you change and you twist shit because your team sucks ass and they're going nowhere. It's not my fault.
Is that the only? Let me be clear here. Is that the only team that is actually above 500 that you beat?
A style of play. He asked about a style of play and if it could take us to the Super Bowl. And you interpret that as bragging because your team sucks ass. You're twisting words, Mark. Stop twisting words.
So, bro. The only team that you have beaten with a winning record is Green Bay then, right? Right?
Only winning record. No.
The only team that has a winning record that you've beat.
And
Washington, but they're frauds too. They lost to the Cowboys. That's how bad they are.
Yeah, they're frauds, right? Yeah, they're frauds, and this team's fraud. This is the same shit you said in 2017. And what happens? We went and won a Super Bowl in 2017. The fact of the matter is, this team is 9-2, and
and they were 10-1 last year.
One of the best teams in the conference is not a crime. It is not being arrogant. It is not saying, we got to pump the brakes. Pump the brakes on what?
I just said slow your roll just a little bit on the Super Bowl talk because I think we were here. I believe we were right here last year at 10-1 before the wheels fell off the wagon there, bro.
You mean right before the Dak Prescott epic collapse to the Green Bay Packers?
Oh, there you go.
We beat. You mean that?
Okay, and I forgot. You did so well against Tampa Bay, though, didn't you there, bro?
He doesn't have any talent around him. He can't help it that he sucks in the playoffs when it matters.
Okay.
He can't help that as a number 1 seed he lost, as a number 2 seed he lost. He stinks. When you want to talk about the Eagles and they're playing Tampa Bay, when you can't acknowledge after 8 years
Bay owns
that
you
your
guys.
quarterback can't win a big game. Tampa Bay ain't going to make the playoffs. So it
Yeah,
ain't
but
even
they
an
beat
issue.
you.
They beat us. They beat us. Oh my God, they beat us.
Oh,
Fire everybody. Get rid of everybody. Sills. Cut Jalen Hurts. Let Saquon Barkley go. They lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Holy shit!
I love getting under your
Philly,
skin. I love getting under your skin and kicking you out.
Let me ask you, Philly, how important?
This guy.
Oh,
I'm gonna be eating like Mark today after this shit.
Hey,
oh shit.
Philly, how important is it for Philadelphia? You want to hear something? Here's a stat I brought up with Xander yesterday. How important is it for the Eagles to get home field advantage? I want you to do this for me. Think about the only teams that have ever won Super Bowls that were dome teams. Colts, Saints. Those are the only teams that I can think of that have won Super Bowls that were domes. Maybe that Rams team in St. Louis that played in that dome, but there are only like 3 teams, and Detroit is obviously a dome team here. How important is it to get that NFC title game? Because here's another little nugget. Philadelphia has never gone to a Super Bowl. They haven't hosted home field advantage.
I mean, personally, I think it's pretty important. I don't think I don't think that it's make or break, but I think it's very important. I think the advantages the Eagles have, home field, cold weather, outdoor stadium in January against a dome team like Detroit, I think would be a big advantage. I think so. So I do think it's important. Now, I will say this. I think that if the Eagles have to go into Detroit, I do think they can win because of the style of play. So I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying they'll be the favorites, but I don't think it's impossible. But as far as your question, yes, home field's very important.
How about this for Mark? Hey, so who are you going to draft in April? What?
I'm not even thinking about the draft
Philly.
right now. But okay.
So what position? How about this? What position?
What position?
They should get
it'll
quarterback.
probably be wide
You're
receiver.
worried about Baltimore this weekend, and this guy.
Right.
Who are you taking in the draft in April?
He's taking a quarterback.
We're not taking a quarterback.
Yeah.
They need a quarterback. They need a real leader.
Hey, Philly, what do you make of the Eagles being underdogs against the Ravens on Sunday?
I think it's fair. I mean, I think we're
fair.
going to win, but I think it's fair. They're playing in Baltimore. Good team. I can see that. What's the spread? I don't know what the spread is off the top of my hand. No, that's just a 3-point spread is just that they got home field. It's a pick'em game, but they get 3 points for being at home. Eagles are going to win. That's the Eagles line. I like that line.
They're 7-4.
I think that's the Eagles line.
Hang on here now. If I'm not mistaken here, I
did they
think.
destroy the Chargers on the road?
Well, they're an 8-4 team, and you guys are 9-2. How come they're favored?
They started off slow, bro. They're getting in a roll right now.
Well, look at who they've played. That AFC. Look at the North Division itself. I mean, you're playing quality quarterbacks. And by the way, one thing I will disagree with you on, Mark, on what Philly said. Hey, dude, they shut down a guy who's having an MVP season. His team may blow, but that Joe Burrow, man, after that opening drive of 17 plays, they shut down Jamar Chase.
Shut him down.
They shut him down, man. I mean, to me, that's
Shut him
quality
down.
takeaway.
Like the Green Bay Packers shut Dak Prescott
I'm
down
just
last
saying,
year.
listen, I'll be real with you. I'm not saying that the Eagles aren't a good team and stuff, but you have to look at it when you start talking about the Giants, the Commanders, Jaguars, some of the you've played some of the bottom tier teams in there, and you don't really know. This will be a good gauge going against Baltimore. If you go through and you beat Baltimore, I will. I'll bend the knee and say, yeah, you
I
are all
don't need
that.
to see anymore. I think they're pretty good. I think this is not going to define, because I don't think you take 10 wins or 10 weeks away of football. And look, it's like you said, they don't really need to win this game against the Ravens. They need to beat those NFC teams. However, they're fighting for home field. So, you said this. By the way, they'll probably have to play their starters in the Carolina game and in the Cowboy game. Because if Detroit continues to win, Detroit's got some pretty big games. They got Buffalo on the flip side. Philly, My question then comes back to you about Barkley. Dude, I mean, he's going to get 340 carries here, man. I mean, that's a ton of carries right now. And you got Derrick Henry this weekend. You've got 3 of the 5 MVP candidates. Are you concerned about the workload that he has had? He's carrying the ball around 24 times a game like an old school running back from back in the day.
I mean, I think in terms of this year, I think he's fine. But, you wonder what that does, towards the, few years down the road in terms of getting all those carries. But I mean, I think you just, you got to use him right now. It's just too much. I'm actually really happy with the way that they've used them. They're not, if you look at the first half of this game, or you look at the Washington game, even though he didn't break 45, 50-yard runs, they stuck with the run, and this team just wears you down. This offensive line wears teams down. And then he has big yards. I think you just got to roll with it, Sills, at this point. I don't think there's no changing.
How about this for Mark tomorrow? So I'm going to ask him what kind of food is going to be around the stream tomorrow, because it's the greatness of Cooper Rush versus Tommy DeVito.
Oh,
that'll be a barn burner tomorrow. Hey, Philly, make sure you eat your turkey early, because you might throw up on this game watching this.
Yeah, I think I might even put the parade on, and I never put the parade on.
Hey, right? You might put the parade on looking for the big Andy Reid float. Big red flag.
I mean,
ropes.
Dallas should have signed Daniel Jones and started him just to make this game interesting.
Yes.
Why waste that money?
Just to make it interesting.
No.
It would have made it. It would have made Thanksgiving interesting.
Minnesota. What money are you talking about?
Still, I don't want that stank. I don't want no New York Giants stank on it.
You don't want to. You don't really want to win, do you?
You don't want to win then.
Then Daniel Jones is not going to get you a win this late in the season.
Explain to me
but
something.
But you don't want to win. You want a good playoff. You want a good draft.
What is Trey Lance doing on your team?
Trey Lance was the hope that they wouldn't have to sign Dak Prescott. That's what he was brought in for.
Your strategy of hope has been exactly why your team has got as many wins as they do.
Do I own that team?
It was a game plan of hope.
Do I own that team? Do I make the calls on that team? No. Talk to your boy.
No, but you're the
Steven
one
Jones.
putting out eating all the food. By the way, what's going to be on the dinner plate for tomorrow?
Ooh.
Hey,
Billy, I've got 2 turkeys.
How much food do you think this guy consumes tomorrow?
I got 2 turkeys. We're going to smoke 1 turkey, an herb turkey, and then
You're
have a
smoking
regular.
What first before you eat the turkey?
I'm smoking a turkey.
Oh, a smoked turkey.
I got a smoked turkey, and I got a regular turkey. We got a ham. We've got sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, broccoli, and cheese. Man,
this is going to be a mess.
And what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of everything. We're going to put it on a sub roll, and we're going to have a leftover sub for the game. Okay.
I think there will be probably actually BetUS. Shout out to BetUS. They actually put up postmarks over unders of feedings. So I think the over under feedings tomorrow is about 5. I already bet it. I took
I ain't gonna bet about it.
Any pie or anything? Surely there's a pie somewhere there.
Listen. Hold on. Let me show you. Look, I'm going to teach you. Just give me a second.
The most excited you've seen Mark in years talking about food.
Hey, the only thing that I enjoyed today was that cat of yours. It wasn't talking about the Cowboys. Holy shit! That
looks
what I
nice.
think it is? Is that a lemon
Look at
meringue?
that shit. Lemon meringue pie. My 85-year-old mother handmade.
How much that'll be gone tomorrow?
I got 2 of them.
That looks great.
This is the shit right here. My mother.
Got 2 of them.
I got 2 of them. And a sweet potato one too. Look, I've got them upstairs here. I'm hiding my pie up here. Ain't nobody else getting it.
Tomorrow, of somebody losing a limb in this guy's presence when he's manjing tomorrow.
Shit, you're right, man. You don't want.
It might be an arm or 2.
You guys are great, man. Hey, I want to tell you guys something here, man. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you guys doing this for me. You guys are so successful on your channels and what you do. You always find time for us here. Mark, you've taken a fucking beating this year. Like, seriously, like you were in a like you were in a jail cell somewhere out west there in Cochrane, getting your ass kicked in solitary confinement. I mean, a complete beating, and you still came here. And there's Philly just taking shots at Big Sills going, we're going to win the Super Bowl, dude, and we're going to run it down people's throat. I don't give a shit what you think about the passing game. So,
and when it doesn't happen, I'll be right here laughing.
Oh, I don't think it's going to happen either, but we'll see. I mean, they're good right now. They were good like this. Hey, well, before he goes, let's do this. How come you feel more confident now at 9-2 this year than you did last year when you were 10-1?
Well, last year when you were 10-1, really, I like I said to you last week, I fully admit I bought into the whole 10-1 hype. It was that 49ers game and how that game ended that really, to me, was like there was a problem.
So what if the Ravens blow you out? What if the Ravens blow you out like that on Sunday? You don't believe that?
Well, I mean, it's one thing to get blown out, but it was they were bullying us. You know what I mean? And that's what bothered me. I think with the coaching staff, I think we're much better coached. I think the defense is what? Number one defense in the league right now.
Yep.
I think they got the coaches to stop, any sort of a momentum of losing and stuff. So I just think we're in a better situation. And I think Saquon Barkley is a giant difference maker. He just is.
You better have a lot of humble pie tomorrow there, Mark. When you're watching that live stream, is eating that nice humble pie there. Hey, Mark, thank you so much. Have a great game tomorrow. I think you guys are winning big. Then you're going to hear this, Philly. Well, we're 5-7, we're 2 out of 500, and there's a shot for us.
Oh yeah. Well, why not?
Telling me there's a chance.
If Tampa can beat the Eagles, why can't we make the playoffs? I know it's coming.
I do too.
Lordy.
Philly, God bless to you and
you too.
Family.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Mark, to you and your family and all the people up in Vermont that like to do the maple syrup and the maple syrup Mark Holmes run. All those folks have a happy Turkey Day too. Mark, thank you very much, man, and have a great Thanksgiving to yourself.
Both
you
too. Same to both of y'all. Eagles.
God bless, man. Thank you so much.
I'll be watching that bullshit of yours tomorrow, Mark, when you're live streaming.
Yeah.
Make sure you do.
Oh boy.
Appreciate
I'll be watching
very much. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Right. God bless.
Guys. All right. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of hard with Mark because his team right now is on a respirator. You know that person that sits on a respirator, he's there going like this? Can Dr. Kevorkian come in and just give me the last rites and put a pillow over my face? I feel like we need to go and get Dr. Kevorkian for the Cowboys. And Philly's like, Sills, we can win this bullshit. I appreciate you guys. Xander's going to join us. We'll read the super chats. Mark Holmes, thank you very much. Hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
All right. Shout out to everybody who came in and watched that. You know what it was. You know exactly what that was. But it's all good. It's all fun and games. Who knows? Maybe we have a chance of getting our shit together. I don't know. But in the meantime, I got to go back to cooking, getting some stuff done for Thanksgiving. We're not raking his bait either. Hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. We'll be here live streaming. I'll probably be live streaming while I'm cooking in the kitchen for the Lions game. And so on. All right, good people. I'll see you soon. Peace out.